This is Tomonews for Monday, January 16th.
Man who wanted circumcision wakes up with missing penis. An Alabama man who went into surgery for what was supposed to be a routine circumcision filed a lawsuit Tuesday when doctors mistakenly amputated his penis. Dr. Vincent Bevins was treating 56-year-old Johnny Lee Banks Jr. when he and his wife Zelda made the decision for him to have a circumcision. Banks thought he was going in for a little trim. Dr. Alan Akins was scheduled to perform in the OR that day. They decided to take away his manhood. When he woke up, doctors told him and Zelda the surprising news.
It's my dick in a box.
We don't know really how they broke the news at Princeton Baptist Medical Center, but from all of us watching this right now,
Sorry.
Banks and his wife have filed a lawsuit against Princeton Baptist Medical Center, the Urology Centers of Alabama, both doctors, and the Simon Williamson Clinic on claims that no one gave doctors permission to remove his penis instead of just his foreskin. A spokesperson for the medical center was cocky in the hospital's defense. Backpacker comes home from Asia, discovers 3-inch leech in her nose. Talk about an unwanted souvenir. The 3-inch leech you see here managed to side-skirt British border control and entered the UK up the nose of backpacker Daniela Liverani. Liverani had been traveling around Southeast Asia earlier this year and reportedly suffered from a spat of nosebleeds. Chalking it up to just a mere burst blood vessel, the 24-year-old returned to her native Scotland not thinking much of it. When she later noticed something protruding from her right nostril, she again initially dismissed it, thinking it was just a run-of-the-mill blood clot. It wasn't until last week, however, when she rushed into a local hospital that she discovered that the blood clot was in fact a living, breathing, blood-sucking worm about as thick as her thumb. After an understandably painful removal process, Liverani thankfully survived the whole ordeal and is just fine. Ugh, nasty. Ugh, nasty.
FDA approves female Viagra to enhance women's libido. The Food and Drug Administration has approved a libido-enhancing pill for premenopausal women whose lack of sexual desire causes distress. Despite being dubbed the female Viagra, unlike Viagra, which affects the blood flow to the genitals, flibanserin works on the brain. Flibanserin focuses on the brain's prefrontal cortex and enables sexual desire to manifest by rebalancing neurotransmitters that influence it. Specifically, flibanserin increases dopamine and norepinephrine, responsible for sexual excitement, and decreases serotonin, responsible for sexual satiety inhibition. Women who took the drug in a clinical study have shown an increase of about 1.0 more sexually satisfying events per month. The pill needs to be taken every day, and its most common side effects are dizziness, nausea, and sleepiness. Advocates claim that the increase in sexually satisfying events is meaningful, while critics say that the benefit is outweighed by the drug's risks.
High school footballer faces charges for yearbook tip prank. High school yearbook photos have been known to come back to haunt you. Even celebrities can attest to that. But none have ever been as bad as this high school varsity football team photo has haunts 19-year-old Hunter Osborne, a senior at Red Mountain High School in Mesa, Arizona. Osborne has been booked and faces dozens of criminal charges for indecent exposure. During a team photo shoot, the football player thought it was a good idea to pull a crude little stunt. According to Osborne, he was dared by one of his teammates, who thought it would be funny if Osborne gave the camera something to focus on. When interviewed by detectives, Osborne confessed to knowingly exposing the tip of his penis through the top of the waistband of his pants. Officials estimated that about 3,400 students received the yearbooks containing the photo before it was reported to school officials. And the photo was also used in a football program, which was sold at numerous games to students and families. Osborne was arrested and booked on 69 counts of indecent exposure, a Class 1 misdemeanor, and 1 count of furnishing harmful items to minors, a Class 4 felony. The charges may be changed, but is it really worth ruining the rest of this young guy's life over a dumb prank?
New Orleans clerk gives armed robber a serious whooping.
Hey, you, hey. Yeah, I'm talking to you. Hey, come here.
A criminal got what was coming to him after he messed with the wrong gas station clerk. Tennessee native Jimmy Rogers went on a robbing spree around the city of New Orleans beginning Saturday night and ending Sunday morning. Wielding a handgun, Rogers began by sticking up 3 pedestrians, the first of whom managed to escape. His next 2 robberies were successful, but the career criminal managed to only net a measly $40 and 2 cell phones. No doubt hoping to hit the big time, that's when he thought it'd be a good idea to rob a fuel zone gas station. Too bad for him, he f***ed with the wrong motherfucker. Security cam footage shows Rogers getting his ass whooped by the clerk, Mustafa, who showcases some northwestern African self-defense techniques honed to perfection in his native Mauritania. Rogers left the scene badly bruised, buck naked, and sporting only a neck brace.
Elevator surface death, likely a botched escape route. New York City police are investigating the death of Tito Bebo Morales after his body was found wedged in the elevator shaft of the Adams Homes public housing block in the Bronx. Sometime before 4 a.m. early Sunday morning, Morales was riding in the elevator. At some point, according to his girlfriend Joanna Sanchez, it became stuck. Seeing no way out, Morales uses the access hatch to climb out of the elevator cab. At this point, he tries to open the exterior doors to one of the floors, but his elevator springs back to life. He spots the stopped elevator next to his and tries to jump over to it, but that's when the worst happens. Morales gets wedged between the shaft walls and the elevator after losing his footing. Other residents of the housing block have stated there have been various issues with the elevators at the building, and at least a few have been stuck in them before. The elevator was last inspected in January of last year.
Escalator accident in China could have been prevented by mall staff. The tragic accidental death of 30-year-old mother Xiang Liujun happened just minutes after mall staff noticed the escalator was broken and didn't stop it or notify security. Around 10 a.m. on Sunday, Xiang was at AZG Mall in Hubei province in central China with her 2-year-old son and husband. Mall staff stood at the top and yelled warnings to Xiang when she and her son were halfway up the moving escalator. By then it was too late, and Xiang was pulled under to her death. Xiang was able to rescue her toddler moments before she was crushed. It took rescue workers nearly 4 hours to recover her mangled remains from inside of the escalator. CCTV footage of the incident has been viewed more than 6.5 million times on Chinese social media site Sina Weibo, with many netizens expressing outrage at the lack of action by mall staff members who didn't turn off the dangerous machine. The incident is the latest to spark fears of escalator accidents in China. In January of 2012, a 9-year-old boy was killed after getting stuck in an escalator in Beijing's Xidan shopping center. And in May 2013, a little girl lost her foot after it got stuck in an escalator.
Horrific video shows child killed in inflatable castle accident. The little girl you just saw in the video playing in the bouncy castle unfortunately did not survive. An unnamed 3-year-old girl was playing in an inflatable castle in China's Guangxi province on Thursday when a strong gust of wind swept it into the air, throwing the young girl to the ground. She suffered massive injuries and died a short time later. According to Chinese media outlet CCTV News, the playground was not licensed, and the inflatable castle was fixed to the ground using just wires and stones. In a heartbreaking video, we see a woman, reportedly the child's grandmother, fight to try to keep the castle on the ground, but she was unable to overcome the strong gust of wind.